We are live. I actually was told the other day it went really quickly. We didn't schedule anybody for this, so if people pop in, great. We'll put your comments up here, but I don't necessarily expect it. So Dom and I are also testing out for the first time a multi-stream where I'm streaming to all of my platforms and Dom's streaming to his, thankful to Restream.io. But anyways, Dom, what are we here to talk about? I like to call it the Missouri incident, a.k.a. the F12 debacle.
I know, the Missouri incident. I think really what we're talking about is, can we consume data that was served to us, frankly, in a legit fashion? Like, sure, we shouldn't be getting that data, but they gave it to us. So, like, what is the problem here? And the interesting thing about this is it revolves around, like, well, it was encoded, right? And I think encoding and encryption gets thrown around in a way that gets mixed up so often,
and they're not.
They
are very much not. Encoding is a small
right.
obfuscation technique meant to make something easier to put on a line. Like that's encoding.
Right. Yeah. Like I base 64 something in a web app if I'm going to toss it through a URL, right? And I need to be ASCII friendly, but not to protect it. Like
right. It's not encrypted. Encryption indicates that you have public-private key pairs or some other methodology, one-time pads, whatever it is, to encrypt the data that you can only receive it after having this key. And so we're getting off topic. I want to make sure everybody that knows what we're talking about here is there was a reporter, and she reported that she found encoded Social Security numbers and data about teachers in the state of Missouri on an official state website, reported that information, right? And then they fixed it. And then, like any other person that wants to move their credibility in the space, she published her write-up about the article of what she found and what she did. And this is a basic one. This isn't even a pen tester. This isn't engagement. This is data, like you said, served to her as an end consumer. Anybody going to that website would have that data. Anyone that looked at it would have it. There was no decryption. There was no hacking, quote unquote. There was nothing done that was malicious. This was just finding a bug that they created, that Missouri's state people, or whoever wrote that, created, and they fixed it, right? And so that's the normal disclosure.
I don't want to put down like the person that discovered this, and I don't want to bring up by name, but like there's no tradecraft here, right? Like it was just the data was there. Right. Yeah. Which it's a very much a valid security issue, obviously, but I just want to emphasize that like we didn't break out any tools. Right.
They gave away data. They gave away data that they was not supposed to be given away. Let's just put it the way it is. That's the words.
Right.
So anyways, I want to describe it for you guys in very simple terms what was happening. Here's what she did. Everybody want to know the big secret hacker trick she did, the massive threat actor that she is, because they want to arrest her. They are trying to prosecute her for her actions, for her good deeds. And so I'm going to kick over real quick to what she did. So she pressed the F12 button. Literally. The F12 button brings up your developer console.
No
key. That. Yeah, the no key. You can't press this in Missouri. It's illegal. You're not allowed to do that. But you come up here and you go to Missouri.gov. This is the site. She pressed the F12 key and exposed data. That data right there is encoded. Now we're oversimplifying. It was in source code, not the F12 direct. It would have been in sources, but it isn't that hard, right? And so you go to code that in a Magic Chef, right, which is just basically taking it from its encoded, not encrypted, again, I even almost stumbled, but its encoded status, and then disencoding it into a readable fashion. That's it.
Right.
And she disclosed that so that teachers wouldn't be exposed. She told them, fix this, please, because you are exposing people to risk. You're putting their data out there. We're a threat actor of any salt period at all, anyone. The first enumeration step is to go and look at the source and go look at the data. That's the first thing. Everyone does it. So the point is that
me as a curious 9-year-old, like I would view source, be like, oh, what's HTML? I learned HTML by doing that. Like,
absolutely.
I'm not saying I'm an HTML pro, by the way, but like I learned a little bit of it. And but if anyone wants to come back and watch this and pause it, I pulled the screenshot and I on the front end did not manipulate. I didn't hack anything, just so you know, but I just did a front end manipulation like you would do if you were trying to mock up a change, right? So there's a couple, not super cool, but there are Easter eggs in there if you want to come back and type in those base 64 strings.
Yeah, and yeah. Oh, did you say you hid some Easter eggs? Nice.
Yeah,
That's cool. That should take just 5 seconds. Cyber Chef, just search for it. There's a GitHub is the first one that comes up in Google. You just put it in the top, go on the left and search from base 64, drag it into your Magic Chef cookbook, and it'll just decode it for you. So,
or you can just Google base 64 decode. There's a million and one things.
I would do it too. Yes, for sure. So the point is, anyways, we just wanted to bring light to this. This is a little bit, silly, but we're really talking about theoretically putting a person that only wanted to do good, that only wanted to protect the teachers of their state, that only wanted to do that, whether it's politically motivated, whether there's other history, whether there's other things in this one action under this one microscope. And now we're talking about placing that person under arrest or potentially imperiling their ability to do their work in their line of business. And I personally, as a person that tries to do this for others, it would be very off-putting for me to ever want to try to help that state.
Well, what's the message, right? Like, I think you and I, as I don't know what you want to call us, white hats, good guys, like
I don't know, just people.
We would. This is something we would do the same exact. Like we would discover.
I've done it. I sent it to Microsoft 2 weeks ago, right? Like I just did one.
Right, and then I would contact them and be like, hey, this is wrong. And then exactly what she did, she gave me time to fix it. It was like, hey, I found this and it got fixed. And even if, like, and I don't know that this is the case because
we're zooming out too far on this. Like, we don't know, but
like, let's even say that it was a politically motivated article. Like, so let's say I'm trying to make a fool out of the governor of Missouri. Sure. Still didn't do anything illegal, right? So I think the question I have is if you or I did this, right?
Yeah.
And then we published to cybermatley.com or whatever, would it be the same? Like, would it be the same if I didn't have this notion as the governor?
I'll start with the 4 people reading it on my site. Probably not in the overall breadth of exposure. But no, I would say general populace, I don't think you'd have seen this. I have to imagine that there's got to be advisors, the raw data, the Twitter feeds, the just raw human, iterants of explaining how wrong this is. Has taken someone that should have just said, oh man, we made a mistake. We didn't code this well. We fixed it. Let's work together in our private relationship with these press and say, hey, we fixed it. Great. Thank you for your help. This is amazing. You get a key to the city, right? I mean, I know it's a governor, but
in the article it was like, hey, they made a mistake and got fixed, right? Like that is threat hunting. That is exactly what it is, or vulnerability hunting, right? Like
vulnerability discovery, yeah, for sure.
Right? You say, hey, we found this issue, and great job, Missouri. Like, you screwed up, but like you fixed it, right? And that should,
and maybe there's an NDA we're not aware of, but the histrionics of this hacker discussion being thrown around by the head of an entire state without the level of understanding of technology, in my mind, is the problem here in the in the United States. That's what's wrong. Right. The people that are talking about this don't understand it. The advisory space is too small, and I'm getting up on a soapbox here. So, anyways, the point is, wanted to talk about this and bring this to light, and it was a really cool conversation about it, Dom. I appreciate you.
Yeah, absolutely. Any
parting thoughts, sir?
Let's say if you find a vuln in the state of Missouri, don't just leave it alone. I'm not going to tell you
just walk away,
guys, but just
walk away.
Let what happens happen.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Thank you so much. See you, buddy. Oh, wait, we got to publish this other comment real quick. Who got hacked? Watch the feed, Eric. We were joking about the Missouri, the Missouri journalist that disclosed the encoded Social Security numbers, and she's being potentially prosecuted. So see you guys.
See you, everyone.